All right, it's time. Good evening, everybody. How are you all doing? If you can hear me, kindly drop an emoji. Okay. All right, the Prince. I see you, Vikram, Crystal Michael, Dara. All right, Victor, Halima, Ruth, Jeremiah. Thank you. Akon, Basi. Thank you to everyone here. Okay. So this is another workshop. As you know, the workshops are a fact. Okay, they are very insightful. They are loaded. Yes, rounded up our GitHub workshop first of September to the 6th. Yes, our longest workshop in our 2025 campaign. And today we are going to kick off the how to contribute as a writer workshop. Okay, so we are here to tell people that look, you can contribute to open source as a writer. Okay, you must not necessarily be a coder, and we are going to show you how. Okay, it's not just a story. We are going to show you it, right? So for today, we have a very amazing person coming to kick off the session. Okay, we have. Is he here? Is he here? I believe he's here. I mean, he happens to be here. All right. So for day one, we have no other person than Michael Williams. Right? He's here. He has a lot of stuff packed for us. Okay. So Michael, um, this is the house. We look forward to seeing how today's gonna be. Okay. So I'll push the session to you now, sir. Take the lead.
All right, GM guys, hello. For those who are not savvy with crypto and blockchain tech, my name is Michael Williams, better known as the Digital Red Cap Chief. I am a content, well, sometimes I'm a writer, sometimes I'm a community developer, but the primary fact is that I began my career as a writer contributing to blockchain technology, which in essence is an open source tech, yes. So that is why I am here today to have this conversation with you guys, and not just to say that it is possible, but to help you. I mean, not just, there's a way you know something, but the problem now is knowing what to do. Yes, today we're going to talk in depthly on understanding blockchain space as an open source ecosystem and how you can find your way contributing creatively, even in an open source environment. Uh, what do I mean? Let me quickly touch on this. Now, I am majorly in the Polkadot ecosystem, and for you to become a creative contributor in Polkadot, you don't really need to apply anywhere or join any program. It's a program, but you can join the program freely. The program itself decides if you are good enough to join and contribute with it. Yes, that's a perfect example of what I mean by an open source system of contributing as well. For today, it's going to be cross conversational in the sense that at moments I would pause and try to get feedback and insights from people to be sure that everybody is following me. And yes, so let's get right into it. Let me quickly apologize. I'm supposed to share material with you guys, but my material is not ready. I very often speak from the heart, but for the sake of revisions, I would share a material that everyone can go through at any time after this session. Yes. So if we're together, can I just get like emojis to be sure we have people who I'm not rocking, as we say in my space. All right, great. First we're going to start with a question. Let me put it that way. We're going to start with the question. And our question is, how is blockchain open source? Just to get an idea of the audience we have, I'll throw this as a question open to the audience, and I need like four people to give different opinions on how they see blockchain as being open source. Please, let's do this quickly. Okay, one person says they don't know anything about it. Okay, yes, Fashi RG. Let's go.
Everybody, and thank you for having me. And also thank you for open source open source next for having this call tonight. So blockchain as an open source to me, I feel like it's a necessity for the fact that nothing is being hidden and nothing can be hidden from anybody. So whoever has access to internet or anybody that has access to internet can always go there and check what is happening and can also contribute. So that that let's say that fundamental of being open to everybody to contribute and to also see what others are contributing is something that we have not experienced before until blockchain technology came to life. So yeah.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. I strongly believe you are one of us because you responded in our greeting as well with the GM. So, yes, you are absolutely correct in what you've said. I would have assumed everybody had this level of knowledge, but just for anybody who has something lesser or higher, we'll take maybe just one or two more people, then we'll proceed. Please, let somebody indicate. Who? Anybody who has anything to say, just indicate or you go. Anybody, Chiamaka, I saw you on mute. Were you trying to say something? You don't need to be wrong. Don't worry. I just need to know the level of extent that you are familiar with blockchain before we get into it. That's why. And if I assume that Fashi's knowledge is everybody's knowledge, some of us who are not that knowledgeable may get lost when we begin conversations. So this is to make sure that we are going to speak in languages and terms that everybody can understand. But I would not waste too much time on that. If nobody speaks, I will just proceed. So yes, if you want to speak, please let's do that now.
Excuse me.
All right,
Okay,
please go on. Please.
for me, what I know about blockchain, yeah, it's what I can say. Oh, okay, it's a kind of like it comes in forms of Ethereum, Bitcoin, and all other kind that follows it. And it's also a network whereby it is used to develop more of apps. There's has that part of app development. However much most of us we know it as a in terms of Bitcoin and Ethereum, all the cryptocurrencies. But under that, under under it, we have also the programming languages. Under the programming languages, we have the Solidity and Solidity, and whereby we program using hard hat and also Remix. For the hard hat, that one can either do it while using RVS codes and all that. Then Remix is a web-based version of VS Code whereby we write our codes. So when we write those codes, we make a contract. A contract is just a combination of functions and codes that are stored on the Ethereum virtual machine. Yeah. So okay, like the topic is wide, but that's what I can talk about.
Oh yes, you've gone really deep, and I like where you have taken it to. So I'll start from where you have stopped. So as we all heard Keval say, he knows blockchain as Ethereum, Solana, Polygon. Absolutely right. Those are blockchain networks, and blockchain technology is just an emerging technology. In the sense, I mean, everything progresses. So blockchain technology is the next evolution of the internet. Blah 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 blah. I'm sure everybody has heard about that. But now, how is it open source? Now, you heard Keval talk about down into Solidity. What is Solidity? I'm pretty sure a bunch of us here know what Solidity is. So you know that people can contribute as individuals. Yeah. no contracts, no employment process binding them, no would I say fixed contracts binding them, yet they are key contributors to the development of a blockchain network. Yes, that's very possible. There is no, you did not apply anywhere to get elected or to get employed. However, as you build, we are contributing to the open sourceness, let me put it that way, the open sourceness of the ecosystem that is blockchain as itself. Now, moving away from the technical side into the non-technical, or like I like to say, the creative side, you can also contribute in such similar fashion as a creative into blockchain technology. What do I mean? Okay, let's start with even as a developer. Now, you might ask, how can a developer be contributing as a creative into an ecosystem? I'm sure just need waves. Let me just see waves. How many of us have heard of the term founding creator? Uh, as a founding creator, or the term founding creator refers to a member of the founding team who is a creator, who is able to tell the stories of the founding process to the audience as they grow. Now, who like, I mean, everybody likes to see their founder as a cracked dev, locked in, no breaks, always going at it. But then we need that element of storytelling and creativity in documenting processes. Why? Especially for educational purposes. Now, it's just imagine. Let me go abstract. Imagine the medical world, and they were not documenting discoveries as they were making them, but they were just growing. I mean, at the time, if there was no way to remember the formulas that made up penicillin, people would forget how to make penicillin. Exactly. So, to a degree, this is one of the essence or the need why there has to be the infusion of creative writing every aspect of blockchain technology, even down into development. So I've just covered it from the let me say the top side, the C-suite side, talking about founders and how they can also be creative. Let me bring it down into individual devs. Now, when you create content, okay, yes, don't just look at it as writing, look at it as creating content, and you are creating written content. So, what does your written content do? It could play a number of roles: sharing information, storing information, being used as educational resources. There are a bunch of ways that, I mean, even in while writing real program, you still go to repositories, if I got the word right, and look for lines of code that solve a particular process or runs a task for you. That is equally open source. So as you create or as you build your products, as you interact with, as you mentioned, hard hat or remix, and as you use those tools, you can document the process through which you use those tools, and your material, let me call it that now, that is the process of your use or your usage of those tools, become your content material. And when you share them on social media or on your personal blogs, they can be used by other people to ease that, let me say, that learning curve for them so they can move on. You have begun to contribute valuably. You are building, you are there, fine, but from your creative writing, you have been able to begin to contribute to other people's journeys. Let me be sure that we have everybody together. So maybe just thumbs up or a wave. Let me be sure I'm not speaking. Okay, yes, Enoch, you have you. Okay, was that a mistake? Okay, I assume that was a mistake. All right, that's great. So, like I was, okay, Chiamaka, yes, you want to ask something? Please go.
No, I have nothing to say. I'm sorry. That was a mistake.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. So just to recap on all I've blabbed, we have been able to identify how blockchain itself is open source. Excuse me, and you can contribute to it in an open source form. Yes. So now let's narrow down to our creatives. Now you ask what areas or how can a new creative somebody who has just begun to explore content creation, whether through writing or video content or graphics. I mean, these are the most prominent parts of creating content. You are either a content writer, a video content creator, or a graphics de- um, designer or illustrator, depending on how skilled you are at your work. Now, all of these three, let me call them three pillars of creating content, have different, should I say, roots, so that you can be from a writer, you can grow into being a content developer. Now, you may ask, what's the difference in a writer and a content developer? Well, when you get into those details, you would see the difference explicitly. And even from a content developer, you could grow into a content planner, all within the umbrella of writing content. Such is similar for video content creators. There are a bunch of shootouts via which they can explore or grow into in their own niche of creating content. So there are different ways, all rooted or based on your skill set, what you are bringing as a creative to contribute with in the ecosystem. Now, let's go back to what Kival said. You mentioned different ecosystems. So, as you can tell, or as you should be able to tell, there are multiple blockchain networks. There is Ethereum, there is Bitcoin, there is Solana, there is Polkadot, where I work. There are different ecosystems. Now, you can find these ecosystems and begin to contribute individually to any of these ecosystems. But what makes you go as you do you I mean you've done your research, you have found the ecosystem, you have found the part of the ecosystem where you want to niche down. But what makes you be able to go? Let me tell you a life story. I mean, I don't know how many of us here are crypto inclined, but I'm sure most of us who are know Mitosis. So from the Mitosis Discord, I met a guy. I think he's Indian. His name is Awais. Excuse me. And Always just had like 76 followers when I met him. And this was during the time. Okay, can I recap? I will recap on the ecosystems. Let me just run through this. So there was that this was during the time of Kaito with Mitosis, like Mitosis Kaito campaign. So Always was a graphics designer with like 70 something followers on his X. But then he joined the Discord of Mitosis and began to grind Mitosis rule. By grinding Mitos's rules, he networked with members of the community, formed his own, formed his own, will I say, circle of friends or like minds in that community, and even went on into growing his accounts to hundreds of followers, all because he was able to target his contribution and actually provide value with what he was doing. I need to quickly take a minute break and I'll be right back. Hold on, guys. All right. Sorry for that break. I had to quickly attend to somebody. All right. So yes, let's proceed. I was talking about Awais and how he structured his contributions. So the underlying fact is, before you can become a contributor that will grow, or I mean, even as a dev, because I'm assuming more of us here are devs. This is just a rough assumption, but even as a dev, you actually have to grow. You cannot just keep writing Solidity forever. Even as you write Solidity, you will still learn more. Like even your writing of Solidity, there are stages to it, and the level of contract you can develop. Such like so is it for, will I say, non-technical? Yes, so it is for non-technical creatives. You need to keep improving yourself and bringing that your value, because I feel, I mean, in anywhere open source, if you are competing against global audience, so if your value is not at its best, you will easily be left out, even if you are good, but then you are not at your best. So as you work to improve yourself and be at your best, finding these communities that you can contribute to, or should I say ecosystem, since we are going to talk more about Web3, finding these ecosystems where you can contribute to with that value. Once your value is recognized and you are good at it, it will be very easy for you to scale, and then you can continue to explore. Yes, I would say more career paths in that ecosystem you have begun to explore. Yeah. So, in what ways can you offer this your value to the community you want to bring them to? On the technical aspects, it will be documentation. I mean, many of us claim technical writers. Even in Web3, it's more technical, but if you already do technical writing from Web2, you would be it would be easier for you to be able to relate technical terms from the high ups to the newbies, or to the non-tech absolutely normies who do not know these technical terms, because everything is all information is by stages. So as long as you can provide value in your documentation, or in writing of documentation, or interpretation of documentation, to bring knowledge down to another set of people or another layer, let's say in that knowledge ladder, you are bringing value. There are people who have been able to, I mean, we know creators and we believe, especially those who did Kaito, some people have to write 5, 10 times a day, whereas there are people that have formed of based on the niche of writing that they have narrowed into. Some of these people are devs, some of these people are core protocol devs, yet they are able to write. Why? Because that documentation that they are doing with the writing is very essential, and it's important. It's very important. It's a very important contribution in open source, in blockchain technology. Okay, Enoch Moneme. Somebody else raised their hand. Oh, okay, somebody asked me to go back and talk about the. So, but you that raised your hand, please go now.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Enoch. So I joined this class just but I got the notification like a day before this class, so I don't really know what to expect. But so far, so good. I could deduce that most of the people here are in a way conversant with blockchain development, smart contract development, and all. But however, for me, I have no idea of what it means to be a smart contract developer or writing Solidity and all. So my question now is, how does a non-developer add to the creatives in a blockchain? Yes. How does a non-developer add to those creative? Is there a way to enlighten the public or even those in the blockchain space about the growth of a particular project or product without actually being a developer? That is my question. Thank you.
All right. This is a good one, and it's again shows why I asked for multiple opinions on how well we know blockchain technology. Perhaps if you spoke up at the beginning and you made me know that you have zero idea about blockchain tech, I would have used different languages to explain certain things. But that is fine. We are still on course, and okay, yes, let's hear you before I proceed.
Okay. Actually, I do not understand what blockchain is, just not the technical aspect of it in terms of writing code, but in terms of the blockchain we have, how smart contract works, how DeFi works, how to move tokens or coin across blockchains, bridges, and all. I understand them on the user aspect, but not on the engineering aspect of it.
Okay, that's still fine. That's still fine. And I think for your question, I will respond with a story or personal experience. So in 2022, 2021, 22, during that show run, the meta of getting rich that time was you have to mint an NFT. Yes, you had to mint an NFT. So people grinded for NFTs and people, but what was the grind? You just had to be online in the communities and chatting. And when you reach level like 16, they would give you whitelist. Now, because the project is really high, people stayed awake for like 4 5 days so they could reach that level 16 before others. But then it caused a problem, low quality community members, people who just came for money. Then community evolved. Now, this stage of community evolution I should say, is the birth of this new creator economy. Now, communities began to do tasks, quests, quizzes, social activities for them to reward whitelist to community members. Now you could see an activity that was based on a thread, and they will say write a thread or write a law or write a poem, write something creative about this project. I personally I once got an NFT project of like 400 per NFT just because I wrote a 6 line poem. That was the easiest money I ever made in crypto. But that underlined the change from non-valuable to valuable community members. And what was this value? It was not technical value. It was simply just contributing based on anything. So dumbing it down, if you join a community, you see that they have a task or activity going on. You check what activity is this. It could simply be a graphic contest where you have to make a meme or you have to make a funny post or you have to make a funny, like do something graphic, and you're a graphic designer. You can very easily do that and win. You didn't code, you didn't dev, you didn't do anything technical, but you have been able to use your skill sets to provide value to a community. Now, this is on the low value grinding aspect. You can a career for yourself by contributing directly into an ecosystem. Before I go on, I want to ask: has this answered your question, or there's still some misclarity you want to air?
It has answered my question actually. Thank you very much.
Great. Now, moving on. There are multiple ecosystems that you can be this structured in your approach. Remember, from that time, you didn't need any structure. You could just look for projects trending on it. In fact, there were influencers perfect for that. Once they tell you OKBS is the next best thing, brr, everybody don't run go OKBS. That was the trend. And people who could, when OKBS would run their quest, maybe say it's a graphics quest, or let's say it's a trade quest, or it's a law, people would use their skill sets, what they were good at naturally. There were people who could paint, like they know how to make painting or paint buildings. They will go and paint a building in the colors of that project. Now that is a little bit degenerate, but that is contribution. And do you see you didn't need to write any proposal for that? You didn't need to seek any employment, and for that contribution, you can get recognized in terms of earning rewards. I mean, it happens all the time. Crypto is filled with rewards, so yes, you get that point. Now, moving away from just grinding it and making it into a career, the best bet is being structured in your approach. That now let's go on to answer ecosystems question. Now, there are multiple ecosystems, and these ecosystems are all blockchain tech. What do I mean? I mean, like I tell people, blockchain does two simple things: store and process data. Now, the way it stores and processes data is what these different companies are working on. So, you don't necessarily need to kill yourself and say you want to be writing for 16 different blockchain networks. I mean, that's very plausible. A bit plausible. I don't know that English. But the point is, it's a commendable goal. But at the end of the day, now your body go tell you. You understand? So it's always best to be structured and find an ecosystem where, for instance, when I began in web, when I began adjusting to career focus, the first ecosystem I explored was Arbitrum because I play games and I wanted to explore Arbitrum as a gamer and as a creative writer from the gaming sector. But at that moment, it was only NFTs, and if you couldn't grind NFTs or launch your own NFT, there was nothing for you. So I pivoted, like kept moving, checked other ecosystems. I went from Arbitrum, I went into Solana. Um, okay, Victoria, let's hear you then. I'll round this up.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. I hope you guys can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I believe most can.
Okay, because I was talking before and nobody was hearing me. It was so funny. Anyways, so I just wanted to pitch in because I know that a lot of people might be not into blockchain and some people might be into it and some people are genuinely exploring, which is good. Um, when we're designing this writer workshop, right, we had in mind that we want to bring different perspectives, right? So here we have Michael William, on X is known as Digital Red Cap Chief. He's someone that writes very well for blockchain, specifically for Polkadot and I think other chains too. But then we wanted to bring him and his perspective as someone that writes for blockchain and Web3. And we all know that Web3 is open source, right? If you didn't know before, know now. Yes, so open source is the foundation, right? Web3 is in it. There are also other forms of open source software out there and open source, systems. So we brought him in as someone that writes for an open source system, which is blockchain. He writes for Polkadot, right? So he's here to tell you how you can write in blockchain and in Web3 and, how it can be flexible when you are writing like that, because everybody knows when you think of writing, you might be thinking as a blog or an article or maybe a strong one, very structured, passing through different or passing through readmes. Here he's telling you that you can write on even social media, you can write. He's just sharing how he writes for an established blockchain and he's able to bring people into it. He's able to contribute to that blockchain because he's writing about it, writing about different systems, writing about different things that are going on there. So that's the perspective he's coming from. I'm just giving more clearance so that in case anyone is lost, that's what we are discussing today, right? How to write in blockchain, as a very flexible, freestyling content writer that is, having fun while at it, but you are contributing to open source, right? So this is a very good opportunity for you to learn, right? Learn about how people just come on X or come on different social media and just write, or people just write randomly and you don't know that they are contributing to open source through that blockchain, right? So this is a point where you can learn, a point where if you have thought of doing that, you can see how he does it. It's a point where you can understand the system. It's a point where you can even adopt it to whatever project you want to do, or you can adopt this writing style. You can learn about it and be like, oh, why don't we use this writing style, this flexible writing style in maybe this product that I'm trying to contribute to, this open source product that I'm trying to contribute to. Because I know that there are also people who have started contributing to open source here, not just beginners. So this is just a point where you can learn and adopt it, right? One thing about open source is that they always value suggestions and contributions. So if you even start contributing to open source, let's say you start contributing to this random one, and maybe the way they are writing is so structured, they have a readme and all that. Don't worry, we'll explain all that once in the next sessions. Maybe they have a very structured writing way of documenting their processes. You can be like, oh wow, like I know that flexible writing works for a particular system. Why don't we use it in this system? And if they say, okay, go ahead and you do it, and you are saying that you are bringing people from the streets into that open source product, you will see that your value, in fact, they will hold you tight. They will be like, you are doing something great. So this is an opportunity for you to learn how that form of writing works, right? And how you can use that form of writing to write in open source. Yeah, so stay tuned. Hold this tight. Don't be like, oh, it doesn't concern me. Hold it tight. People that have left, I just pity them. Hold this tight, okay, William. Michael William, Digital Red Cap Chief. I greet. Continue.
All right, that's great. I mean, anybody who knows Solution knows how she's always bubbling. That's typical and that's beautiful. So proceed. 1 second. Excuse. Uh, this is side note. Under attack, so I need to be smart. It's fun. Okay, let's just proceed with this. I'll handle that later. All right, as I was saying, moving from Arbitrum to Solana and some other ecosystems I can't even remember. I Now that is a number of ecosystems that I explored. Follow me from Arbitrum to Solana to there's one Islamic blockchain project I even found. I mean, trust me, there are numerous. If you know 10 blockchain networks, trust me, there are 100 blockchain networks. And if you know 100, there are 500 because there are so many of them. And all of these blockchain networks are trying to solve a problem and while doing that, they need people who contribute to them. Now, imagine I found I found an Islamic blockchain project. They had their own infrastructure, had their own token, had their own everything. And what was their use case? They were trying to do halal finance in Islam. For those who are Islamic here or who are Muslim rather here, you know what the halal in your religion is, and that's what they're trying to solve. So imagine if there can be that niche of an ecosystem solving something like that. There are hundreds of them. All you have to do is find an ecosystem that your skill set can be contributed into. Whether you are, like we've talked about, whether you're a writer, you're a graphic designer, or you're a video content creator, anyway you can bring your skill sets and contribute value into the ecosystem. I know I began with a lot of technical as a founder, as a technical dev yourself, but now we can see that we've gone through founders, we've gone through technical contributors. Now we are in the creative contributors brackets, writers, video content creators, graphics designers, anything. Now, okay, Enoch.
Okay, thank you very much for the audience. I have a question. So we're talking about being structured and having picking a niche in an ecosystem. So I'd also like to ask, is it also advisable or possible to focus on use cases, but now across different ecosystems? Such that, okay, take for instance now, you want to focus on NFT use cases, or you want to focus on DeFi, but across different ecosystem, rather than just focusing on a particular ecosystem. Is that also advisable? Thank you.
That's a smart question, and I think it is. In fact, people already do it. I'll bet there's a will I say stumbling block to this. What do I mean? Now imagine you decide to talk about the NFT use cases for different projects in different ecosystems. Yes, there are a bunch of them. I mean, in Polkadot alone, I can think of several. And if you want to explore all blockchain networks, I'm sure there are so many of them. However, how do you structure what you do to become a valuable contribution that will earn you income? Like I always say, you need to eat rice before you write hello world. So if you are doing everything you are doing and there is no way you are making money from it, you are going to get tired of it. Because I mean, yes, we are here for the tech, and I'm one person who has always said I'm here for the tech, but now inside the tech I see the chop rice. Do you get? So in your approach and how you are doing it, you have to structure it such that your structured approach is not just going to be it's not just going to be a fan. It's going to become something, let me say, rudimentary to the project or to the ecosystem, such that they will reward you for it. And in other cases, they can even, I mean, there are people that their networks like them. I have a friend who, well, I don't know if he still remembers me as a friend, but we used to be in a group chat for creatives together. And he was flown abroad by a project in Sui for something. I can't remember exactly what they went for, but it was a conference that the project took them for. And with that conference, he got like with that moment he traveled, he got admission to study in the UK, and that's where he is now. But I'm just showing you how your contribution can should I say, still and exceed your bracket, if I'll phrase it that way. Um, before I go on, is there any other question? I think I keep looking at only the first set amongst everybody. If there's any question, you can just like raise your hand and let's go through it before we continue.
No. All right. So now I want to move on to the OBCK one. Let's hear it.
Hello, good evening, sir. My question is, like, I see many people posting things, posting content. They are not the one that write it. They are posting it. Let's say, for example, the ICE project, the eyes. So you see people posting many content, promoting the eyes. Those people posting it steady. Are they being paid? Why are they posting it steady? Posting it in all group, posting it, encourage people to get engaged, to buy the eyes, to buy the eyes. But when you see it, even when the eyes fund or somebody talked on Twitter or there's a tweet, they post it. They always post it to WhatsApp groups. So those people, them are they also content these thing writers? Are they also the writers? Because in most of the case, if you look at it, they are not the one that write it, but they are used to post it, advertise it. So I wonder how did they get paid? Thank you.
Okay, you have taken us into another sector of, well, we like call it contribution. Hmm. Different opinions, different perspective, but what you are telling us is a typical experience with Sheilas. What do I mean by Sheilas? They're a group of people who their work is to repost links or information in multiple groups. That's their own work, and well, to be honest, they pay them, but the thing is now they might pay them like let's say, like I've experienced people who work in that sector and the pay is nothing. Like trust me, that's not a career path you want to follow. But just to answer your question, yes, those people get paid as well for what they are doing. And as you get more knowledge, like as you grow in your interaction with the space, you will also like you get to a point you experience those people and why they are doing it. Are they the ones writing it? No, they're not the ones writing it. Um, like when Enoch asked how you can, if you must niche down in one ecosystem. Now, I don't know, perhaps you should mute your mic. The feedback is disturbing. OBCK. Thank you. Now, there are some people who write on information. They are not even ecosystem specific, but they write information across all spaces in Web3. Who are these people? Our dearly beloved airdrop alpha hunters. Now, what they do is they create content. They're not specific to any chain, but as long as that chain is going to reward people for doing something on the chain, they write about it. Now, do you see? We're going to get into niches, but that is a niche of creating content. Some people that are airdrop content writers are writers. Some people are video creators, like they create that same airdrop content because they're not. When I say ecosystem specific, I'll put myself and say because I do everything in Polkadot, but these people write on any chain that is going to bring reward. However, there is still that one common factor amongst all the chains they write about. That is where they I would say that's their own focal point for the brand they have built for themselves. As long as there is an airdrop in the projects, they will create content on it. It could be written content, it could be video content, it could be infographics with guides on how to do the task and earn the rewards. But that is the content they are creating. Now, when these people create their content, sometimes, sometimes for them, they have to run referral programs. Like there are more incentives if you have referrals. So you see those people who share those links into other communities. Those people now share those links on behalf of the people up that need the referrals, so they down can get paid. That's the setup. And again, anybody, any alpha, anything that is coming to you in such structure, hmm, not financial advice, but I will always ask you to stay away from them because genuine information
most likely doesn't come that way. I think that answers the two questions now, and we can progress. Am I correct? Great. So now we are going to get into writing styles. Now you would ask, okay, fine. We know now that you can contribute as a writer, you can contribute as this, you can contribute as that. What are the writing styles? Okay, Jamal. Yes, I think I'll take all questions and try and be faster. Yes, Jamal, let's go quickly, please.
Right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jamal. So, I'm sorry for interrupting you all. I'm sorry for interrupting the process. So, by the way, my question is that I wanted to know, sorry, Victoria said something about your username on X too. I wanted to know if there's a way you can write it down for us so that we can actually follow you then get some insights through your post. And also, this is the first time I'm joining this space, so I don't really know what it's all about. And I'm not gonna say I'm getting it all, but as time goes on, I'm going to get a hang of it. So I don't know if this is the first and probably the last, or if this call has always been holding, and also if it's going to continue. So I want to know, then understand and know how I'm going to like join. And also I would like to probably like Michael, I would like to ask some personal questions privately if possible, but that would be true if I can get to have his username on X and probably give him a follow. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jamal. So, first of all, I'll just advise you to follow us on our social medias and join our WhatsApp and Discord if you are not there. We're doing a campaign to bring open source closer to people. We have done a GitHub workshop, and this is us doing a writer workshop. So it's 3 days. Today is Friday. We're doing it now. We'll do on Saturday and we'll do on Sunday. So, and also make sure you have not registered. So we'll send his social media handles and everything on the follow-up email. We'll send to everybody that's registered. And we'll also drop it in the group. So that's where it's very important that you're in the communities and you're registered. Yeah. Um But yeah, you can read up about us, Open Source Nest. We are just a campaign here to bring open source closer to people. So we are doing it through different workshops and events. So this is a workshop to show you how to contribute as a writer to open source. And I hope that we are learning some things. So yes, let me try and drop his X handle here now, but we'll still send it to you guys on the communities and in email. But let me drop it now so that you can even see examples of how he consistently writes flexibly, and he's bringing more traction to this open source product. So I'll drop it now. Oh, sorry, O'Brien, if you are on this call, please drop it. Thank you.
All right. I believe that answers Jamal's question, and we can proceed on. I think we're talking about writing styles before that. Yes. So basically, for those who are writers here, please, I would love to. I mean, people say connect. I don't believe the word will be connect. I think it should be network. I'll be happy to network with you, and I should get my details. Please, you can just like follow me on X. Send if you can send a DM, like just reply any of my posts. I'll see it and I'll follow and we can talk. Yes. Now, for writers, this session is specifically for those who are already writers. I want to put this to us. You are a writer, fine and good, but as a writer, are you writing for yourself? This is an introspective question. As a writer, you are not writing for yourself, you are writing for your readers. So no matter how lovable and wonderful what you have structured is, if your readers cannot follow it, you're wasting your time. You're just wasting your time. That's why, again, talking about writing styles, there are different ways you present the same content across different social media platforms. Why? Audience. So now, writing style, particularly for blockchain projects and open source projects as such. Now, when the open source project is not in blockchain space, their means of operation will certainly be different. But in blockchain technology, where everything is actually open, like it is all open. The easiest place to find community members and begin to contribute your content are on social media platforms. Yes, your Twitter, Discord, Reddit, and surprisingly, a new trend has come up. The social media on Binance app. I think it's popping, and this is something that we are going to see very soon go crazy. The social media on your Binance app. Now, on these places, you need to study how people create and, more importantly, consume content on those platforms. What do I mean? Imagine we take content writing style from Medium. Yes, I mean, all of us know Medium is the web 2. Normal, if you're writing in web 2, anything, you got to get a Medium. Even in crypto, you need to have a Medium. I have a Medium as well. But unlike taking your writing style in Medium and bringing it to Twitter, X, the consumption rate will drop because you have not created your content in a way that suits the content style of the platform you are producing on. Lot of jamboree grammar. Let's break it down. The way they say when in Rome, behave like the Romans. Abi, when you are creating content on Twitter, create content in the way that Twitter consumes. If you are creating content on LinkedIn, create content in the way that LinkedIn consumes. If you're any platform you're creating content on, you need to tailor your content. Again, all this is part of structure. It's all in bits and pieces as we are talking about them. But when you put them into when you fuse them into practical use, you see everything become applicable at different stages. Yes. That's my ex. So yeah, you guys can just like we'll text and get anybody who has questions. We can get onto that there. We used to do that on this call, but you get the point. Jamal, is this another question, or I assume it's not another question, so I'll just go on. Now, when you are writing on X, you are writing X standard material. This does not negate the need for having personal blogs, or let's say public blogs. Yeah, you can still have personal blogs, but personal blogs in Web3 space would work more for the technical creatives, people who are documenting personal jobs. And I mean, as much as you are talking to people about things, you are also documenting your own activities. You understand? Yes. So the writing style for such content, that is, you are documenting activities that you have done and talking to people, the writing style will be different from when you're writing basic threads on Twitter, and it will be different from when you're writing white papers for projects. What are white papers? Every crypto project, not just blockchain network, every crypto project has a white paper. A white paper is simply a material that states what your entire project or company is trying to do. Everybody has that white paper. So there are writers who are hired to write white papers, and there are still writers who go and look for white papers and break it down for lesser audience to understand. So again, you ask yourself, what category or what type of creative are you? Let's go to the Web2 side. There are people who are no diss to any writers, but there are some people who write love stories on Kindle and all these storybook pages. Yeah. And there are people who write technical writing. Now that shows you a large range from non-technical to technical. Whatever your own, like on that range of technical to non-technical, whichever spec on that range you fall into, create content around that spec. What do I mean? So let's say originally you are not a dev or technical savvy person, but you're a writer. If you join an ecosystem and go and try to start creating about technical subjects in that ecosystem, you will most likely create poor quality content because you are not knowledgeable about that thing and you have not basically done your own research. But if you are a technical person, let's say you're already a technical writer in Web 2, and then you move into Web 3, it will be easy for you to go through white papers, see technical stuff, break them down and simplify them for non-technical people or for your audience to consume. Yes. I'm looking through to see if we have any hands up. No hands up. For people who are creating this, let's say, how do I describe it? We have people who are writing on X, then people who are simplifying these technical details. Yes, let's say they are breaking down the concept. People who are breaking down concepts, they are again different approaches through which they can create their content. I hope I'm not overloading us, but you could go from writing threads, like I've always said, to creating videos that are step by step processes about what you are talking of. I think, am I allowed to share pages and links that people can look at what I'm talking about? Any of the hosts?
Sure.
All right, great. Uh, let me find one thread I've just done, and so you can see what I'm talking about in practice. Excuse me. Okay. Where is the chat section? Okay, yes, I
Okay.
see it.
You drop your questions in the
So,
chat if you have any questions. So you can talk.
so I just shared the link to a thread in the chat section, and this thread is going to be like reference to what I'm talking about in writing style. Now you've already gone through the initial process of, okay, I write, I create content, I found ecosystem I want to create content in, on, for. Now, or you found niche, you don't want to create for a particular ecosystem, but you've now found niche. Now, how do you write your content to appease or to be relevant to the people you are writing for? Now, if you look at this thread, you can just from the opener, from the first tweet, you can an entire idea about what that content is going to talk about. Now, this is because this is Twitter style for creating content. From your first tweet, you need to be able to summarize everything that the reader will expect so that at a quick skim, I think that's what it's called, while they skim through from the first tweet, they can have an idea of what to expect. Now, if you bring in writing style for LinkedIn and you start with problem statements, you will very easily lose your audience. And again, because in this space, content performance is very important. Well, depends on the ecosystem you find yourself in. But as a creative, especially in this space, you are working to grow. It is a career. As a creative, that's the advantage you have as a creative over any, okay, apart from devs. Yes, because after devs, creatives come next. It's a career you are building. You're not just trying to find jobs. That's, allow me, cause that's lame as fuck. You are supposed to build a career for yourself with your skill sets around what you are doing and in the ecosystems you find yourself. Just to digress a bit, we have amazing Nigerians who have gone on to work with. I mean, so many people know Solana Super Team and Harry Obi. Many people know Blaze and Dami. Like, people know these Nigerians working with big ecosystems and earning these crazy sums, but again, it still just went back to what they did with themselves and how they improved their skills to get to the stage where they could be employed by these ecosystems. Now, even as a writer, your own is not different. I mean, you can easily be writing net anywhere between 500 plus per month as a writer if you know what to do. Like, if you're, well, apologies for throwing figures, I would say you earn equal to the value you contribute, because even on your path to start earning in millions, you must have earned. There was that time you were writing and you were collecting like $20 typical. So yes, it's just on how you write. So going back to the writing styles, we've seen a practical example of writing style for Twitter. I would implore Soluchi to please share one of our posts from LinkedIn so you can see. Now these are references that you can see that attest to the difference in writing styles based on the platform you are creating your content on and the community you are contributing it to. So if you find the community and the community prefers their content to be on Reddit, you cannot say you're going to stay on Twitter and write. That community needs that contribution on Reddit. Will you contribute where they don't need it? No. You have to head on and contribute where that contribution is needed. And when you go to that space, you still need to tailor your content to be how the people in that space create content and share. Yes, I think I've laid emphasis on writing styles. If there's any question regarding writing styles, let's ask it now so I can quickly go over opportunities and round this space up. Any questions? If you have a question, you raise your hand or you can just unmute. I'll wait for some seconds and we will proceed. All right, I assume no questions, so I'll proceed. Now, we have gone from whether you are a technical fellow or you're a non-technical fellow to how you can contribute through writing or content creation. And we have gone on into writing styles needed suitable for different writing platforms. I believe that there are questions, but I would proceed. And when you allow me to say muster the courage to just move and we'll take your questions. So now I would go on to earning opportunities. Once again, if you know your price, you know if you write hello world. So how do you make money with this writing? Like how do you make money with this thing you are doing? Now, basically, again, I don't know how active we are on Twitter, but I think it was a week before Web3 Lagos. So that's like 3 weeks ago, 3 4 weeks ago. Somebody from the Ethereum Foundation dropped hints. In fact, I think they've done applications for creatives who have been creating in the Ethereum ecosystem to register for bounties. Now, this is a very common way. Just the same way for devs, there are dev bounties and all of that. In some ecosystems, they are bounties that reward creators for having created content in their ecosystem. For instance, say I was a beneficiary for Say Gaming content creation. That was their creators round 4, I think, and I was rewarded. Why? I had been creating content on Say Gaming, but when that bounty came live, I submitted my content that I created on Say Gaming, continued to create content on Say Gaming. Then they had a Gitcoin funding round. Yes, I'm trying to remember the particular arithmetic on how there's one term for that Gitcoin funding. I can't remember it right now, but that was what they did. And as people vote for you to vet the quality of your content, you will earn more. Typical. Now you have been creating. This is a form of retroactive rewards, I guess. As you have been contributing, you have been creating content. At some point, the ecosystem will now decide to reward you. Now that sounds like should I say free work? Work now, chop later. We like what's that his name says? We need to do that here. Now there are other ways that you can contribute your writing and even job hunts through writing. Hold on. Find problem, analyze it, report it. Let's say you are in a Discord community now, you have been hunting and you've been grinding, you've been searching across communities on Discord, and you are in this community, then you notice a problem that let's say they don't have an active community page, you can volunteer to begin to create community content. Now, creating content grows, it goes exponential from just writing to different things. But even as a writer, you can begin to write content on their community activities and share, and gradually spur community activities on social media. That way, now you can easily get yourself a job in the community. This is not a promise that if you do this, you will get a job. It just underlines the fact that you are bringing in value with your contribution, and that your contribution can earn you jobs. There are other ways. Let me talk about how Polkadot works. So there is a reward pool that often gets refilled, and as you create content in the ecosystem, you submit to certain media outlets or bounties, and you are rewarded. So it's basically based on how many times like you create content, how there are criteria, of course. Let me not sell dreams. It's very important to learn. The potentials are there, the opportunities are there, but it's very important to learn. So if you try to go head first for earnings, you will run outside as fast as you came in. So again, this is just a, let's say, caveat. How do they call that? To let you know that yes, these are amazing opportunities we are discussing, but it is very important that your skill set is capable of doing what you want it to do for you. Yes. So back to how you can earn with your writing contributions. We've talked about retroactive rewards. There are live bounty programs. There are contributors roles. For instance, I talked about Aways. Aways was a contributor through graphics design, doing memes, doing graphics, doing what do they call them again? Uh, Discord stickers, like GIFs, anything meme, anything image, anything graphic funny. That was what he did. And he got roles that got him good money from the Mitosis airdrop. That is DAO contributor roles with your creative contribution. There are different ways. Like even in Polkadot ecosystem, you can contribute as a writer to a point that as a creative, let me not say as a writer, as a creative, to a point where the ecosystem allocates funds to you to create your content series. Now, this is Polkadot. It happens in every other ecosystem. It happens in Say, happens in Ethereum. I think it happens in Solana, or their own is based on bounties as well. Because I know about I think it's N.Phone. They have a campaign platform in Super Team where you go on and you find writers bounties that you can write about projects, write about the ecosystem, and you earn rewards. Now again, all of these things are open. They are open source. All you have to do is find the communities that you will join and begin to contribute to. All you have to do is, before you join those communities, you need to know the type of content, the based on your skill set. I can never overemphasize the relevance of being honest to yourself. Don't try to bite more than you can chew because you are looking at it as, in quotes, writing. Yeah, I say many people can write, but not everybody can write. You understand? So that aspect or that creative, it mustn't be writing, like I said, it could be a graphic designer, it could be a video content creator, it could be anything creative communication. Yes. And you, as long as you can provide value with that skill set, you can earn a living from it, as you said. So what you do, even whether you're technical, even people who are technical, like people who you're already earning money from writing your code and doing any of that. But that your documentation process can also earn you more money. This is not about money, but this is about opportunities for you to earn by contributing valuably. So you can see right from the top straight down to being a zero technical. I myself, I don't. It's only if you would classify HTML as coding. That's the only line of code I have in my body. I am more into the community and content aspect of Web3. So I relate with you who do not know anything technical. Although I know technical things, but I get you that you don't know anything technical, yet you want to contribute. Yes, there are ways you can. Just being a funny guy
Just by being a funny guy in the Discord, you can be able to create memes and begin to learn. That learning process, that the primary interaction, the research to find communities, the activities in the communities, all those things are the medium through which you learn about what you create. And as you learn, as you create, you would unlock streams, like we mentioned, the grants, the bounties, the contributor roles, the grants for you to create content in series, job opportunities. Like there are numerous ways. Like I always say, if there were no creatives in Web3, Web3 would just be Web3 would just be like a concrete jungle, or in fact a machine jungle or a code jungle. Like nobody can understand anything. But creatives come in to demystify that confusion, and in any way you can contribute to demystifying that confusion, you will contribute valuably to that ecosystem, and you would have been able to forge a career path, or let me say lay down the grassroots for a career path for yourself, that as you go and as you grow, you will fill in and take on more roles. Okay, at this point, Emma, is this another question? While you make up your mind, if this is another question, please you can bring your hands down, LMU. But I see Enoch as well. Enoch, I think we can hear you. Let's go.
Okay, thank you very much. I've been enjoying the class so far, and that's been beautiful, quite enlightening. So, something just popped into my mind. I wanted to ask, since there are various ecosystem on the blockchain or Web3 space, is there anything to look out for, or are there factors to consider before picking an ecosystem you want to be well known at? Maybe those factors could also be based on the kind of value you want to provide to to that ecosystem. Maybe perhaps you want to be sorry for that. Maybe you want to be a graphic designer, a graphic illustrator. Are there ecosystem that enhances or facilitates such kind of skill set and value more than other ecosystem? Now I'm trying to like what kind of are there factors to consider before specializing in an ecosystem, and if also your skill set can also be one of those factors that influences the ecosystem you decide to focus on. Thank you very much.
All right. This is another lovely question, and I'm not gassing you. Why do I love this question? Now, uh, it, it is based on the writer and the peculiarity of their skill sets. What do I mean? Let's say you have a more generic skill set, that is, you know how to let's say technical writing. I mean, they are very most people who claim to be technical writers are not technical writers, but let's say technical writers. There are more chances you will see a technical writer than you will see an anime specific graphic illustrator. I mean, we will all agree with this. But as an anime graphic illustrator, you can allow me say bomb ecosystems based on this your anime graphics illustration that you do. I mean, what are the possible use cases you can do with anime graphics? You can do all from single images all the way to comic books. Now imagine there was an ecosystem that you can create comics in. Yeah, compared to an ecosystem that is just more dev inclined. If you are an anime graphic illustrator, you will certainly move to the ecosystem where you can contribute as a comic book designer or typical. Yeah, this I just picked two very far apart niches. It all boils down to the peculiarity of your niche. Again, for somebody who is, let's say, who is Rust based, as a technical dev, or let's as a dev, you write Rust as a dev, and you want to, let's say, you are contributing to an ecosystem and you want to create content while contributing, you will surely you cannot write Rust and be contributing to a Solidity ecosystem, even though you are equally a dev. But it's just the peculiarity of your own skill set. So yes, your skill set can influence the ecosystem you choose, but it depends more on the scarcity or
peculiarity of your skill set. I hope you understand that. So, say for instance, somebody who is another instance. Let's use live apps. I have a buddy. He is a graphics designer and NFT artist, and he in quotes grinded base. Sorry, Zora. He grinded Zora. I am a thread. Let me say thread writer and community, whatever, whatever, whatever. I don't do images. I don't do graphics like that. You get. For him now, that's his strength, designing arts, and he was able to share those arts. I mean, Zora is an arts tailored platform. So yes, they have the community chats, but it's mostly for creators like NFT artists and creators. So he was able to do more on Zora than I was able to do. Why? Because his skill set aligned more with that project or that ecosystem. So even as you are trying to search and explore, again, you need to first know what value you are bringing. When you underline the value you are willing to offer, you will see that your research will be tailored to ecosystems that need your contribution. Yes, and then I mean, for people who have more generic skill sets, like maybe just writing or just research, they can play with more ecosystems compared to somebody who is a bit more specific than that person will have opportunity to explore. Does this answer your question?
Yeah,
Yes,
and
yes,
also,
it
can
does.
you guys
Thank
hear?
you.
Am I audible?
Okay, Victoria, please go. Enoch, you can come after.
Okay. So I just want to even add, like Michael said, is like perfect. Literally, Michael summarized our campaign into one answer. So you guys get, so the whole point of this campaign is to demystify it, so you don't think you have to be so technical and you have to go in one direction to contribute to open source. Now I hope we are learning the different diverse ways you can contribute. And I love how please just join our community. You guys, please help our life. Join. If you join, all those things will be available. So I like how you asked about design. We're going to have how to contribute as a designer workshop. So we'll have special one for that one. We'll have how to contribute as a community manager workshop, right? But for now, let's try to focus more on writing, right? So we still have this day one, which has been very beautiful. We still have this one, day three, and just basically what he said is that as come as you are, and that's literally it. Like, just come as you are. There's definitely a place. If you notice how we even structure, because we have 4 contribution workshops. We have writer, code, community manager, and design. We even try to even like just group them. In practicality, you can be someone that is very good in community management and writing. You can be someone that is very good, has a very good unique skill set that doesn't fall under these 4 things, and then you just come as you are and decide you want to bring that into this product, this ecosystem, this software that is open source, and you want to bring that as the value you are using to contribute. It counts, because the main point is that you are helping to grow that product, you are contributing your input, right? So like the main thing is just look for the one that suits like your values, you feel aligned to it, and then you contribute and they're accepting of it. That's it. Like, so open source is a very come as you are field. That's the whole point, that they make it open, that you can bring whatever you have to offer into it, right? So that's why we are doing all of this. Like, he literally summarized the whole campaign, like come as you are. So please just be staying tuned, and please let's I think Enoch wanted to say something. Sorry, I just got so pumped because Michael said, like, literally, he literally defined our campaign, open sourceness, in an answer, and I'm so happy about that, because it means that like we're all aligning with one another. That's very good. So like, just continue, don't mind me.
I think we will mind you, but let's mind Enoch. Enoch, please, you were gonna say something. Let's hear from you.
No, I actually wanted to just appreciate. Yes, I understood the way you explained it on how the skill set you have determines or plays a role in the ecosystem you function best at. Thank you.
All right, great. And I must also remind us all that this is not a call for us to box ourselves. No, in fact, you can. Okay, this is a hot take, especially for us creatives. People, some quarters argue that as a creative, for you to grow, you must be rooted somewhere, while some other quarters argue that no, you need to be what they call an ashawo. You need to be everywhere for you to be able to grow. Uh, I would wade in on this here and just say that again. I mean, this is not spite to any profession, but people are whores because they are where whores are, and some people are wife material because they are where wife materials are. So you yourself, where are you? This question provokes your personal value, like the values you offer with your skill set. So let's say you are just a web 2 graphic designer who just wants to get into web 3. Of course you are going to be everywhere because you are still trying to learn, and you are still trying to get more opportunities and enter communities that you can network and stuff. But for you, for some creatives, okay, yes, I know this is outside of web 3, but look at a creative like Sloan. Sloan is not everywhere, but he's dropping major bangers compared to some artists who are everywhere. Will bring that back inside. There is the stage you will get to in the ability of your value, what you can pull off, and you will not need to be everywhere. The essence of being everywhere is the learning process. I mean, I myself, I started in multiple places before I teetered somewhere. So it's not a crime to start in multiple places. But the goal is not to be in multiple places. The goal is to learn, improve your skill sets, and be able to contribute to multiple places. I mean, when this is typical when you become very valuable, more money will be able, just take it typical, like I made mention of Dami. Imagine somebody so good, Binance wants to hire him for West Africa. That's how much value. Now that can, there's so many people who are doing business development roles for free. I'm taking this into business development too. There are so many. Even you can contribute in you can contribute in open source to business development. But today I'm to talk about content writing, so we'll stick to that. But just for this instance, for business development, there are people that do that job for free for projects, while some people are going to be paid 5 figures, 6 figures for them to do that job. Why? The amount of value you have been able to impact in yourself, that when you touch something, or when you talk about something, or when you do something, you are sure that output will come. So this is a call for you to go back indoors. And I mean, learning is a constant process. You learn every day. But as you are exploring ecosystems and joining classes and doing everything, it is pointless if you are not improving your skill sets. Emphasis on improving your skill sets, because it's your skill set that will still make you stand out. Remember, it's open source. You are not competing against people in one village. On this call alone, we have people from different parts of Africa. Now imagine when you are competing for opportunities that are against people in different parts of the world. If you don't come correct, you are going home. I mean, everybody knows Cynthia Fori. So if you don't come hard, like if your skill sets are not that high bar, again, this is not a call for you to not go for opportunities until you feel like you are the best. No, in every stage, just be the best, or be proud, or trust in your ability of what you are going to provide with your contribution. So if you are sure that it is memes you are bringing, you are sure that when you send your memes will make people laugh the most. Or if you are sure that it is thread, then when you send in your thread will be the most relatable. Your trend doesn't need to be the most condensed with technical terms, but the fact that when you send me your trend is the most relatable, you are doing great. Now, if you're a technical person, you are sure that when you send in your thread, all the technical details that anybody technical will need, your thread contains, you are doing great. So you see, it's all based on, again, how you are, your skill sets, your I would say how aware you are of your ability and how you can contribute it to ecosystems. Because I mean, somebody was saying someday that more. Some people they pay, then they write. Some people they write, then they pay them. Some people they write, then they ignore them. What's the difference? I mean, this is something that they drag a lot of influencers for. The difference is just that those influencers are bringing in more value. Simple. Yes, I know it's not that simple, but that's just what it is. So you now don't try to cheat the system. Don't you can never beat a system. Just play along with it and find your value, grow your value, plug your value, and I mean, once you're able to do this, the conversations will shift from how to contribute to how to grow your contribution, how to scale what you have contributed, and at that point, everything we're doing here will be, I'll say, story well heard. I think I will round up conversations here and open the floor for any side questions, any references, any notes. Perhaps I give it back to our host and see how we tailor it from here. GM, guys.
Yeah, Michael. Thank you. Okay, so I am pretty sure that a whole lot of persons here got insights onto what you said. Okay, this is the one everybody, Michael Williams hits the ground running. And we are so happy, okay, Michael, to have you here. Sincerely, you guys heard his perspectives, point of view as a Web3 person ish, okay. So as a Web3 person, and he spoke obviously from a crypto perspective and also a community developer. So guys, if you have not registered, okay, you know what to do, okay? Head over and try to register. Follow us on our socials. Tomorrow we come again, and it will not be Michael, okay? So we have another person that's going to give it to us hot, okay? His name is Abdul Rahim. Okay, he's going to give us from the perspective of a front end developer and also a technical writer, of course. So stay tuned. Okay, follow us on our socials, join our communities, and if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask. Okay, if you are shy to ask here, and always ask on the community group. So I don't know. Does anyone have anything to say? I'm trying to, okay, yes, then special shout out to Chinedu because he's our programs manager for the how to contribute as a writer workshop. Thank you, Chinedu Bekwe, O'Brien, and every other person here. Right. So I think with that being said, no hands are up, no questions. The session is officially over. Thank you, everyone. And good night, good day, depending on your time zone. Bye. Oh, sorry, Williams, you wanted to say something. Proceed. Okay, Flora. All right, shoot.
Okay, let's hear from Flora first. Flora, please, let's hear you. Okay, Flora says it was a mistake. That's fine. I just wanted to give a round up summary with some key takeaways. This is just a call to remind every creative here that you are irreplaceable and your value can never be overlooked. So if you don't do it, you are leaving a problem. You are an open source contributor as well. You don't need there are no barriers stopping what you can do, and there are countless ways you can grow as a creative writer. So yes, come up, come out. Web3 is for us all, and if you know nothing about Web3, this is a great time. This is probably the best uh insight you could have gotten into contributing to Web3 as a creative. And yes, let's see more of you excel. GM.